A busy week, and it's got to get real busy as we start the second part of the season. Of course, league play. Everybody's pretty much in league play this week. And so anyways, Bob, let's take a look at the top 10. Let's see what's been going on.
I like it.
Man, it was a big game this week. I love it when there's national games going on. And we saw Mater Dei take it on St. John's of D.C. last weekend, Bob. I watched that game on ESPNU. And I'll tell you what, St. John's had them. They had him at halftime, 41-20. Then I thought, nah, I knew it. Listen, I saw some of those calls. I saw some of those plays. St. John's was lucky they weren't down at halftime. But it took Mater Dei 58 seconds to grab 2 touchdowns to start the second half, and then another one a minute later, Bob. So within the first 2 minutes of the third quarter, they had already put St. John's down again, 53-24. St. John's is a national power in the big scheme of things. This year, though, they've been playing everybody in the top 10, and they've not been faring quite as well. But the games have been close except for this Mater Dei game.
Look, Mater Dei, the classic, making the adjustments at halftime, and it came out when it scored 2 touchdowns and before everybody was even back in their seats. And the Monarchs still clearly the top team, certainly in this area and nationwide as well. There's nobody. There's probably nobody within 2 touchdowns of them except for St. John Bosco.
We'll see, Bob.
You flipped the coin. You flipped the coin in that one. Top 2 teams in the nation right there. No, I don't think there's any arguing that whatsoever. You can take your Texas teams and whatever. Doesn't matter. Mater Dei, Bosco are the top 2 teams in the nation.
Mater Dei and Bosco together collectively have already wiped out the top 10. All right, they played everybody in there already, wiped everybody out. Wasn't even close. Clearly the best 2 teams. You got teams in there, and we're going to talk about it, like Duncanville and these other schools. They don't leave their state, man. They don't leave their state. They don't deserve to be even in the running. All right, let's continue on. Take a look. St. John Bosco did not play. Corona Centennial did not play. Mission Viejo beat Upland 38-3. J. Serra did not play. Grace Brethren over Westlake 49-35. I was thinking the other day, man, Westlake sure has fallen far off the map, Bob. A couple years, about 5-6 years ago, they were the toast of the nation.
Oh, I remember all those matchups, Oaks and Westlake and
Marmoni League.
Distance from each other, right? Marmoni League, none of that matters. Yeah, Westlake, boy, you're right. The Warriors have fallen off the map. That's for sure. But maybe they get that program back in. I mean, to play that close against Grace Brethren, we know how good Grace Brethren is this season. I don't know. You think Grace Brethren's a little overrated?
No, get out of here. Let's continue on. Get out of here, Bob. I want to hear that kind of talk. All right, let's continue on. We see Narbonne following Grace Brethren. Number 7. I honestly believe Grace would beat Narbonne. There's no question about that, Bob.
What did I tell you? I told you guys, Randy will come in later. Randy said Lawndale was going to make a close game out of this. What did I say? I said Narbonne was 3 touchdowns better than Lawndale in this game. And it turns out they were 4 touchdowns better than Lawndale in this game. So was I the kiss of death in that one? No, I was not.
All right.
I got that one right. I got that one correct.
Is your arm sore, Bob?
No.
Don't twist it so hard.
No.
To pat yourself
Hold
on that
on.
back, buddy.
A little more patting on the back.
All right, it was Sarah over Cathedral, 13-7. Sarah's going to struggle. Sarah's played a pretty good preseason schedule, Bob. A lot of teams in that top end.
I think Sarah's legit. I like Sarah. I think Sarah's going to make some noise in the postseason.
Cathedral's always legit. I know they have a couple of losses now, but I'm telling you, they take on all the big customers. They're a small parochial school. Continuing on, Norco lost to Rancho Verde, 63-35.
Well, they can't be 5-0 then, is this?
Yeah, excuse me, Bob. And then Servite defeated Notre Dame 16-13. That was a good game because those 2 teams had high-power offenses. They had pretty decent defenses, and that was a 16-13 struggle, Bob.
Look, I want to see if Servite, and we're going to talk about this later on, Servite Bosco this week. I want to see if Servite can play defensively. Hang in there a little bit. They're not going to beat Bosco. That can't happen. But I wonder if they can hang in there a little bit just because they don't know any better at this point. It's a young Servite team, and they may not know they don't deserve to be in this game yet. But I think we're going to find out a little bit about this Servite because I think Servite's coming really quick in the Trinity League. I don't know if they're Bosco Mater Dei yet, but they're coming quick.
All right, let's take a look at the No Love Club now. These are the teams, as we've told you every week. These teams are not recruiting. You don't have 20 D1 guys on any of these teams. Even combined, you won't even find 3.
This is a one-school list at this point.
Yeah, pretty much. Corona Del Mar 5-0. They continued on their quest. They defeated San Clemente, by the way, 42-21.
San Clemente, who we had in our top 10 a week ago. Now Corona Del Mar wiped the floor
San Clemente
with them.
they haven't been in our top 10.
Here we go. I'm gonna make this call. I'm gonna say Corona Del Mar might be the best public school team in Southern California.
Really?
Might be the best public school.
They're going to beat Narbonne? They're going to beat Narbonne.
I think there's a shot. I think they might have a shot against Narbonne.
They're going to beat Mission Viejo?
Yeah. I think they would have a shot against Mission Viejo. That I do believe.
They're going to be Mission Viejo.
Best public school team in Orange County. How's that?
All right. Well,
can I amend my statement?
Well, Mission Viejo's in Orange County too.
They
Bob.
are.
All right.
I think Corona Del Mar would give Mission Viejo a great game. Let's just put it that way.
All right.
I think that would be an excellent football game. I think they beat Mission Viejo, to be honest with you.
All right.
That's my call.
We'll get them to play.
I hope it happens.
When the season's
it
over,
won't, but I hope it will. I wish
Bob
it would.
will lease out Labard Stadium or Cerritos College, and we'll have them play.
Let's put it together.
We'll figure it out.
I know the Sea Kings will show up. That I know.
All right, let's continue on our list. This is getting ridiculous now. Cypress, of course,
Give CDM
they defeated Capital Valley 42-28. Culver City defeated Dorsey. This is a surprising score. Randy, we need to talk about this.
Right.
Culver City 60. They hung 60 on Dorsey. I think that's an all-time record on Dorsey, 60-14.
Yeah, Dorsey's just not. They're not very good this year. Unfortunately, that's not a typical Dorsey squad. Randy was talking about. We were talking about that earlier too. That Randy will talk more about maybe some of the struggles of Dorsey.
4, 5, and 6. That's Catella, Western, and Northview did not play. They did not play. Right. Lawndale lost to Narbonne 28-0, but we're gonna let them slide and just stay there, because pretty much there's a lot of schools that would lose to Narbonne in this top 10, including Corona Del Mar. So I'm gonna leave. We're gonna leave Lawndale there, Bob. Of course, Glendora did not play, but they did move up. They moved up a spot. And then the newbies are Paramount and Sunny Hills. Paramount over Venice 49-12, and Sunny Hills defeated Trabuco Hills 41-38. I just want to know where Sunny Hills is getting all this firepower,
right,
Bob.
That is a basketball school.
Basketball school.
Sunny Hills is a basketball school.
Has never really had success in football, at least not in the modern era. And but they're doing fine right now.
You got to go back to the Gary Carter days to go.
Here we go again, man. Here we go again. You're gonna start trouble, man.
What? Gary Carter went to Sunny Hills High School.
All right. Before we look at the national picture and we talk about the matchups, let's go to Carlos Peña and see what's going on in the high desert.
Hey folks, welcome to SoCal Prep Report. I'm Carlos Peña, and tonight I'm bringing you Riverside Prep, high desert football. Let's go straight to the action. Bob, you're the kiss of death. It's starting to get cold out here. I'm freezing. Let's check it out. Portola Bulldogs already up by 7, swing it right as quarterback Brandon Yu hits Kevin Wotowich on an out pattern. He cuts his way into the end zone. Portola 14, Riverside 0. The Knights of Riverside Prep look to establish a passing game with this quick pass from Vincent Torres to Jalen Taylor. The Bulldogs defense made quick work, putting the Knights on their heels. Knights elected a punt, which paid off as Brandon Kraft laid a big hit. Nathan Driscoll would recover the ball for Riverside Prep. 2nd and 6 for Riverside, and Vincent Torres is picked off in the end zone by the Bulldogs' Kevin Wotowich. Portola takes to the ground with running back Trevor Yu taking the ball up the middle deep into Knight territory. Same series, and once again Trevor Yu takes it up the middle and gives the Bulldogs of Portola a 21-0 lead. The Bulldogs would go on to score 23 points in the second quarter, giving them a 44-0 win over the Knights of Riverside Prep. Let's take a look at some other games in the high desert. Starting off with Cross Valley League, Silver Valley over Southland Christian 26-0. Next up, Boron over Big Bear 20-14. Moving on to Desert Sky League, as I stated last week, Adelanto paid a visit to Carson and came up with a 21-0 win. El Rancho over Barstow 40-6, and Mighty Silverado over Yucaipa 42-7. Next up, Mojave River League, Bishop Union over Feisty Burrows 19-7. Hesperia coming up short 1 touchdown to Chino 21-14. And finally, the Golden League, Palmdale over Antelope Valley 13-0, and Highland Big Time over Eastside 63-0. And finally, we have Court Hill 27 over Knight 0. That's it for me. See you guys next week with more high desert football. Back to you in that warm studio.
Oh, Bob, you already put the whammy on Carlos out there. Wearing a parka, baby.
I didn't do it.
Love it.
Yeah.
Every week, Carlos.
It's not that cold out there yet, is it?
Yeah, it is.
It's going to get colder.
All right, man. It's nutty. All right, let's take a look at the matchups, the key matchups this week. Want to have a look at those. And let's take a look. The first one we're going to see on the screen there is, of course, Bishop Amat at Almany. Big Mission League contest, Bob. Amat 4-1, Almany 5-0. Almany's a high-powered team, but Amat's probably played a little bit tougher schedule than Almany. So, I don't know, man. It's going to be a good game. Almany surprised me. They really took it to Oaks Christian. Amat's been steady since they had a second game. I think it was the second game of the season they lost. But this could be a good game, and the winner of this game could control the Mission League.
And probably will control the mission. I agree. Notre Dame will have something to say about that as well. But I like Alemany in this game, actually. I think Alemany's kind of been the surprise team this year. I like what they've done. I like them in this game. I don't like the way Ahmad has kind of. Everybody thought Ahmad was going to get better and better, much better throughout the season. They've gotten better, but I don't know. I think it's a coin flip, but I'll take Alemany.
Ahmad's not rolling the way you think they would.
Right.
They're averaging 4 touchdowns a game. That's not bad now. A lot of teams would kill to have 4 touchdowns a game, but they're just not rolling like Alemany. Alemany's putting up 40, 45 points a week, Bob.
I like them in this one. I like Alemany.
It'll be a good one regardless. All right, let's continue on. Take a look, and we're going to see Norwalk at Glen. The reason we have this game up, again, it's just 2 regular schools going at it. They are crosstown rivals. They are both in the city of Norwalk. It's for the Mayor's Cup. They played this game since these schools opened. It's a big deal down in Norwalk. These 2 teams are no longer in the Suburban League together. They moved Glen out to the 605 League with Pioneer and Cerritos and the other guys. But they're having their struggles right now, but this is just a good, fun game to watch because they exchange the Mayor's Trophy and, they go out and destroy each other's schools. Like
Rivalry games are good. Who you got here?
In this ball game, I don't know. I mean, I like Glen. They played a pretty good schedule, but so is Norwalk.
Schedule, I think, right?
Norwalk's a big school, though.
Yeah.
They're like twice the size of John Glen. So I'm going to go with the underdogs. I'm going to go with Glen in this ball game.
I like that.
Just for the fun of it.
I like it.
It's just a fun game, all right? Continue on. Let's take a look at some more games of interest in this week. I like those crosstown rivals. That's what we brought it up.
Those are good.
Sierra Canyon and Crespi now. Interesting game, Bob. This one hasn't been interesting for a while because Crespi's really been down in the doldrums for a while. Troy Thomas leaves them.
I'm just going to say.
He's going to Servite. Now they're killing everybody.
I was just going to say, all Chris needed to do was get rid of Troy Thomas.
What
to get back to respectability. I have no idea.
Anyways,
the Celts haven't been very good in a while, that's for sure.
So Sierra Canyon, Crespi, it's going to be a good ball game. I mean, it's going to be a dogfight in my opinion, Bob.
I like Sierra Canyon.
Of course you do.
Well,
Well, they've been running hot lately, and Crespi's on their way up. Of course you would. It's just an easy choice.
You think I'm picking low-hanging fruit here, huh?
I think so.
All right.
I do.
Good enough.
I honestly believe that. All right. Here's a big game for you. St. John Bosco versus Servite. Bosco has beaten everybody and anybody put in front of them the last 2 years except for Mater Dei. And that's the only rock in their shoe, Bob.
That is true.
They're taking on a Servite team. We've just talked about Troy Thomas coming over from Servite. Back at Servite now, and he's got them back rolling again. They're 4-1, surprisingly. But these guys are both similar. Bosco's averaging 43 points a game, Servite averaging 36. They're both stingy on defense. But I just think the Bosco Steamroller is still rolling, man. And I think these guys are playing with a little chip on their shoulder, as they should, because Mater Dei has stolen their thunder the last 2 years. Will they do it again, Bob? What do you think?
I think Bosco in this situation is going to want to roll up a big number on Servite because we've been talking about Servite 4-1. They've been playing really good this season. They've been having a really good go of it. I think Bosco wants to say, you know what, this is our league. I think Bosco puts up 50 points in this game. I really do.
Set the tone, baby.
I would like to think Servite can play him close, but it's not going to happen.
You got to set the tone, and this is the way to do it right now, right? I mean, just get out there and then just say, look, man, it's us in Mater Dei. That game's coming up, but you can't look past any of these games. Mater Dei cannot be looking past any of their opponents to Bosco, and Bosco, by the same token, cannot be looking past anybody until they meet Mater Dei. You just can't do it, man. It's a kiss of death. All right, national picture. Then Randy Rosenblum joins us for some city section action. Let's take a look at the national report here. Mater Dei, as we mentioned, defeated St. John's at DC. St. John's came into that game ranked number 40 in the country. Normally they're number 6 or 7 in the nation. Shows you how their cupboard was bare this year coming into the season. They have played a top 20 schedule, Bob. Everything that they played this year has been in the top 20 or so, it seems. Bosco did not play. They're rolling at 5-0. St. Louis of Hawaii just beat the number 18 team in the country, Milani, who Bosco just beat a couple of weeks ago. Milani taking on top 10 teams left and right. They're followed by St. Thomas Aquinas of Florida, St. Francis Academy, who Mater Dei beat, or Bosco beat earlier this year handily. They're number 5. Duncanville, Texas, again. School I'm just not sold on yet, again, because who they played, Bob? You don't play out of state. They did beat St. John's this year. I give them that. But St. John's ain't St. John's.
Seems like these Texas teams don't like to travel too much, huh?
They don't. Why would you travel out of state when you can be found out? It's like the SEC. For a long time, they didn't want to travel out of state, man. They're going to get found out. They can't beat some of these guys outside of the SEC.
Haven't seen Alabama coming out west lately, have
they don't. They don't. Anyways, continuing on. Gonzaga from DC 5-0. They won Lakeland, Florida, a big win against a team ranked 9,000th in the nation. I don't know what's going on with these guys. Hey, Gonzaga did it too, and so did Duncanville. Concord de La Salle continues to roll, and then St. Joseph's Regional was defeated, I believe, by St. Francis, was it? Yeah, St. Francis, 28-0. No shame in losing to somebody in the top 10 in that regard. And anyways, forget all that noise. That is the real top 10 for this week of 9/30/19. All right, joining us now is Randy Rosenblum, and he's going to give us the lowdown on the LA City section. Imagine that. Randy, what's going on?
Well,
man?
it's always Narbonne, but I really want to talk about Chris Parker, who plays for San Fernando. He led him to a big victory last week against Reseda. He had 3 touchdowns in the game, 2 touchdown catches of better than 70. And Reseda was making that game interesting, guys. Down by the goal line, if they punched it in, we would have had a big game going with Reseda and San Fernando. They fumble. Chris Parker scoops it up, goes 94 yards the other way. So kudos to Chris Parker, kudos to San Fernando. And you can see they're still number 3 in my poll. I couldn't move them up against Narbonne and San Pedro, but I wanted to get that shout out in for Chris Parker, who had a wonderful game.
I'm waiting for that week you finally move them up.
Imagine that.
Well, it'll probably happen this week because we're going to have our game of the year coming up with Narbonne going to San Pedro. As we look at our top 10, I still have Narbonne number 1, and that's no shock with the 28-0 victory against Lawndale on the road again. 8 sacks in that game, guys, by the way, for the Gauchos. Jake Garcia throws 3 touchdown passes. Now they travel to San Pedro. San Pedro trampled Cleveland last week, rushing for 7 touchdowns. Josh Ward had 3 of those. Then there's San Fernando, the win against Reseda, which I just documented. And, of course, the great performance by Chris Parker. But the quarterback, Adrian Lopez, threw
Larry,
for over 300 yards. What about his uncle?
Larry Parker.
Larry.
Just saying,
He's
got
good representation if it's
He
Larry
doesn't
Parker.
even have to play ball. He could just go to work in his uncle's firm.
We got Garfield at 3-2. They shut out Bell, and of course, our producer Larry Zavala didn't want me to talk too much about the game. Yeah, they clobbered Bell. They will host Huntington Park, so it's going to be another easy win for Garfield this week. Banning lost, but I kept them at number 5. They went to Elsinore, had a lead, lost in the last second, 44-42 on a field goal. I still think Banning's top 5 in the LA City section. Palisades had a bye, so did Westchester. They'll play this week, 6-7. Canoga Park moves to 5-1. The Hunters had an easy win over Panorama, which was expected. Franklin, there's another fine football team. It's the Alfred Bobadilla show. Their quarterback is great. Franklin had a bye. They play Wilson this week. They will clobber Wilson. They'll go to 5-1. And then I have 2 teams at 10, Birmingham and Crenshaw. They don't have good records, but I'm telling you, they're going to go into their respective leagues. Birmingham will travel to El Camino. And on the other side, we're going to have Crenshaw with View Park. Those will be easy wins. So they're going to win out, I believe. So you'll see Crenshaw and Birmingham go deep into my standings. Maybe move them up to 6 or 7 by the end of the year.
I've never seen 1-3 and 1-4 teams in a top 10. Bob had a fit because Corona Centennial was in a top 10 with 3-2.
Yeah, but they're playing Southern Section schools.
I'm just saying. I mean, I'm just saying.
Crenshaw has their win is against Reseda. Okay, it's a good team.
You got to win the games to earn your spot.
See, Bob's going to melt down.
Wait a minute,
That's
and
why
they
I'm
lost
just
by
saying.
only 3 points to Garfield.
go.
That's why I have Crenshaw there. And Birmingham has a big win over Harvard Westlake. That's why I have them tied at 10.
But they lost to Garfield.
52-49 Crenshaw fell in that game, and it was a terrific game. Best games of the week, there's no question. Right. Number 1 against number 2 in my poll. San Pedro hosting
Do they have
Narbonne.
a shot?
No.
Okay.
But the question is, can they keep it competitive? Can they run the football on Narbonne? Probably not. Don't forget the Gauchos not only shut out Lawndale, Narbonne has a shutout against Orange Lutheran. So there's the records. Narbonne's 1 losses to Lone Peak. Great team from Utah. So that's the matchup of the night on this weekend. Of course, there's a couple other games I do want to discuss. We have Canoga Park going to San Fernando. The Hunters are good, but they're not as good as San Fernando. Can the Hunters slow down San Fernando's running game?
No.
Probably not. Again, Lopez threw for over 300 yards last week for San Fernando, so now they have a little bit of a
We're
confidence.
winning the games out here,
Are you
right?
guys on that defensive line or something,
Nostradamus
man?
is
These
here,
guys
right?
are 5-0,
Nostradamus is here.
5-1.
We both agree San Fernando's going to win it. And the last great game in the city is Westchester and
They're gonna wrestle
Palisades. This is a good football game.
I agree.
Palisades will win this game because they have a better defense. Westchester does have lightning in the bottle on offense. They can score the football, but I think Pally at home wins the game.
I'm going to take Westchester in the upset.
Okay, that's
like
doable.
that?
You're going to be wrong on that one,
Okay.
but Palisades will win the game.
wouldn't be
But
the
you have a
first time.
shot. You have a shot. And in girls volleyball,
Mark the
kudos
tape.
to Taft. Big win last week against Granada Hills. They've already beaten Palisades. Those are two of the other top teams in the city. They'll play Eagle Rock a little bit later in the year. Unquestionably, right now, the Taft Toreadors, coached by Armin Mercado, are the best girls volleyball team in the LA City section.
Really, you believe that?
Yeah.
All right, that's good. I mean, I don't know, Randy. I haven't followed the city section in volleyball in quite some time.
Is there any reason for me to lie to you?
No,
I
no,
wouldn't
I
lie
know.
to you.
Sometimes, but you do pull the wool over me and Bob's eyes around here a lot.
Oh,
so
I'd like to do that. But
I
Taft
understand that.
right now is the best team. Now, it's not giant strides better than the
Okay.
rest, but they've already beaten the teams who are close to them.
Right.
And pretty convincingly. I think they'll do the same when they play Eagle Rock a little bit later in the month. But right now, it is Taft, the Toreadors. And Mercado does a great job. He's won city titles with the girls and boys teams in Woodland Hills with Taft for years.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, learn something every day. Certainly learned something here today.
Sure.
I'll tell you that right now. All right, last week we talked a little bit about your boy Justin Hager, the coach over at Mount Point.
back in the
Mountain
news?
Point, yeah, Arizona. He's in Phoenix somewhere. But anyways, this is the guy that was given the launch codes to all the teams in the neighborhood who were going to play Mountain Point, and he usually did it in the playoffs and in the
Right, I
finals
know.
and all the big tournaments and all this stuff. Turns out the guy was upset because he didn't get the head coaching job. He got passed over. So we started outing everybody, even in championship games. But all right, so you already know this part of it. The guy he resigned, and then the board said, oh, no, you're not resigning. You're getting fired because that's
there
in
you
your
go.
contract. So that's
Right.
pretty good. So in
they
California, if
fired
you
him.
don't have that, you should put that in case we got skunks like around here in LA somewhere doing the same thing. So anyways, the bottom line is this guy's in a lot of trouble, not only with the student body, the faculty, but some of the former players are speaking out now too. Yeah, it's not getting any better for this guy. The reason they fired him, I heard the guy that would be like the head of their CIF Southern Section, while the head of their section said pretty much they don't want this guy ever resurfacing anywhere in the world to coach anything, not even a dog to bark. And that's pretty bad. But yeah, but it's not just him. Another guy in Huntsville, Arkansas.
Oh, no. It
This
gets
other
worse?
coach, well, he got fired. This guy was like 8-23 during his tenure there, which is probably like, 3 seasons?
It sounded like he wasn't
2
very
and
good
8
at doing
the
this thing.
prior 2 years. He got fired. He became the dean of the boys. He's like the principal of the school. He's giving out information to the rivals.
8-23. If he comes to
Yeah.
North Hollywood, he's a miracle worker if he can go 8-23.
Yeah, but
My alma mater is not very good.
this is in the South in Huntsville. This is SEC country,
yeah.
my brother. So they don't do that down there. They're serious about their football. So, anyways, this is what's going on. But this other guy, he was so bent that he did not get the job. He's out selling the launch code. So now it's a whole new investigation for me now, guys. I got to start asking around. But here's the other thing. Now there's an investigation into the coaches over the 2 or 3 year period that Hager was sending this information out. They're trying to backtrack because they have the emails. Now they know who got them.
Right.
And everybody's scrambling. Everybody's running like cockroaches, man. They're running from the daylight, man. They're running into the shadows and hoping they don't get that call to be asked about what you did with that information.
Because you shouldn't have taken that information in the first place, right? You should have. The first guy who got it should have blown the whistle on the whole thing.
Do you think Belichick would have taken that information?
Of course.
Okay.
How
Randy,
good
your
was
thoughts?
I don't know. How good was the information?
Bill Belichick takes any information.
The
He's
information was credible because it was coming from a guy that was the assistant coach on the team. So he had everything. He had access to the whole data.
Right.
I've mentioned this before. It's about winning for those coaches. And then when they got caught, then they hide.
Well, what they're doing now is they're going to figure out what they're going to do to these head coaches once they're busted, because they are going to get busted. I give it. Vernon Fox, former NFL DB, played in the NFL for Denver, played for a few other teams. He was the head coach at that Vegas, it's some kind of Vegas Christian school.
He's the one that blew the whistle.
Yeah,
finally,
he
right?
just told the coach, hey, look, man, you got a rat on your staff. Look what I got, and he said, I kind of figured it out already, but he didn't know who it was. But then when he had the Yahoo 12, when Walter Payton 12 or whatever it was,
love
and
that
why
email
do that
address,
to poor
right?
Walter Payton?
Dragging sweetness. through
Randy,
this,
I know you don't like Walter Payton, but me and Bob.
Well, what do you mean I
love
don't like Walter Payton?
One of the greatest guys of all time. What?
What did I ever say against Walter Payton?
Randy, come
Sweetness.
off the air. You rail on that poor man, posthumously even.
No, we love Walter Payton.
Okay, you love Walter.
He's not the best running back in Bears history,
No, not at all.
I think Gale Sayers is, you see. But I think
Yeah.
Walter Payton is a phenomenal football player. Now, most people would disagree with me, and that's for a different show.
Now, I want to show you guys how crazy it is across the United States, okay? So the southern section is the even without the LA City section, the southern section is the largest section in the world. No other place has the higher concentration of schools. I think there's probably close to 700 total. Some don't play sports, but they're in the section, okay? So imagine going to Massachusetts now. Massachusetts is about the size of Anaheim, all right? I mean, with Anaheim Hills included. Right. So it's about the size of Anaheim. And do you know that they can't get together on how long a high school game should be played? Should it be 10 minutes or should it be 12 minutes? You got the 10-minute people saying we need to have it 10 minutes, otherwise they're going to get CTE by the time they get out of high school. Got the 12-minuters going, what? I mean, that's pretty much what's going on. So what's happening now is you have one league in the state that only plays the 10-minute rule, not the 12-minute rule. Well, if you don't play the 12-minute rule in any game, you can't qualify for the state playoffs.
Come on.
So this little district holding up 12, it has 12 high schools, it's holding up the whole state. In other words, schools don't want to play them. So one school just said, you know what, we're going to forfeit, man. We're not even going to play you guys because we don't want to be left out of state because we're going to state, your district's not. I mean, what is going on out there, man?
You know what people in Massachusetts call their own state sometimes?
I have no idea.
Massa-useless.
Well, apparently.
That's just about what this is at this point, because how do you not have a state governing body who says, come on, let's go, get it together? Just like we would have here. The CIF state office would say, come on, pull yourself together here, and let's get one uniform way of doing things.
Yeah, and why make a change?
How
It's
do you
been
not
12
have that?
minutes. It's been 12 minutes in these quarters for decades. Why make that change? It's just going to upset the apple cart.
Well, again, you have well, you know what? You can ask yourself that about a lot of stuff going on right now.
Well,
I don't understand that. I don't understand why you just can't say, okay, everybody plays 12 minutes or 10 minutes. 2 minutes is not making a difference. I'm telling you right now. Take them somebody who's played the sport. 2 minutes does not make a difference at all. It does make it's just parents being stupid now. It's ridiculous.
How about if we go to 15-minute quarters, though?
Well,
like the
you know
big
what?
guys?
They used to. Well, I think at one point they used to play 15-minute quarters, but let's just stay at the 12 and just leave it be. Let's not mess with the status quo and just go on and play. I mean, the game was great. Now you got everybody meddling, thinking they know what's better. I mean, let's go to 8-minute quarters, Bob. Why not? Right? Let's accelerate the game. Everybody throw the bombs.
let's not even play.
Yeah,
I mean, right? So we were getting to that point now.
it's getting bad.
Come on.
But anyways, let's focus on the good stuff now. A lot of good games happening this weekend. Be sure you go out and check them out. Leagues are now all pretty much in play. Exciting stuff going on if you get out there and get a check out a ball game. Randy, I'm sure there's a few games out in the city that you'd like to see.
Well, it's the game of the year. I mentioned it. San Pedro hosting Narbonne.
Right.
This is the game we've been waiting for.
We've been waiting for it.
Game of the year.
The computer has it 50-3,
I was
Narbonne,
gonna
by
say,
the way.
I was
That's
gonna
what
say,
the computer has.
He's got Narbonne by 14 touchdowns over here, but it's a game.
But it's hey, San Pedro's a great environment.
And that modern day Bosco game ain't going to be much. Trust me. It's not going to be much. I'm just going by Rosenblum's
still a couple
assessment
weeks
of what's
out.
going on. Listen, that's all we have for this edition of the SoCal Report. I hope you enjoyed it. A little wacky today. These guys are kind of out of it. I tried to keep it together as best I could. I hope I did good enough for you out there. On behalf of Randy Rosenblum, Bob Gibson, I'm Mr. Stracy, and so long from your friends here and Carlos Peña at the SoCal Report. Good night, everybody.
Carlos is not their friend.
Not